Well,
thanks.
joining me now to react to all of this, California Congressman Darrell Issa. Congressman, it's always great to speak with you, sir. Your state, would rank as a top 5 global economy just on its own. So how would you characterize the health of the Golden State's economy right now, in particular with this backdrop of this massive amount of borrowing that we're seeing on the federal level?
Well, I wouldn't want to compare it to Greece or Italy or some of those other economies that were famous for running deficits and expecting someone else to pay, but we could be compared exactly that way. We have an ongoing deficit and a large debt in California, and the highest taxes in the nation. Highest taxes in income tax at 13.3, but we have a lot of others, and we have a governor's race where many of the candidates are proposing tax increases, including the so-called wealth tax.
Which is something that is politically popular, but maybe not financially, fiscally responsible, to be clear. But the other thing that we're seeing right now is this uncertainty over the tensions in Iran and the Strait of Hormuz. It seems to be having a bigger impact on energy prices, really in California, more so than anywhere else. How is the reaction there in your state, considering what they're seeing? Because, again, the regulations really are a big part of the reason, the taxes, why gas prices in California are so incredibly high.
Well, and that's the crux of the problem in California. I filled up my tank today. I went in to get a couple other items, and there was a huge sign protecting the man at the counter that says, California has the highest taxes in the nation. Don't blame me. You've got to understand that whether it's 7-Eleven or Circle K or any of these places, they make pennies on the gasoline. Most of it is a combination of regulatory mandates that are unique to California, the departure of many of our refining because they can no longer meet the standards that are arbitrarily set, or the highest gas tax in the nation. So yes, it's up around the country, but it's up at the highest level in California, and at a time when we're taking on a nemesis that has been confronting us, Iran, since I was a young lieutenant in the Army a very long time ago. The transitional cost that President Trump is asking us to bear is one where we end a problem that has been a problem for the world for half a century, and it is definitely causing us to have to make temporary sacrifices. But that the goal of this administration is to not have to come back and deal with it again the way we have for my entire adult life.
Well, and you're on House Foreign Affairs, Congressman, so this is your wheelhouse. You've also been touring some AI facilities because, for you, that's a national security issue as well.
Absolutely. I was just at Lawrence Livermore, and before that at the Milken Institute conference, and it was interesting how they're linked. The cost of modernizing our nuclear preparedness is in no small part because of a resurgence of Russia and the places like North Korea and Iran, the missile systems that we're spending so much on because we now have nemesis that are coming in with very inexpensive ways to destroy infrastructure and to kill people. All of that does combine. And I've got to tell you, when at Milken, they were concerned, and they were concerned that we might quit, that we might stop halfway through, much more than they were concerned about whether we should or shouldn't be there. And when I got up to Lawrence Livermore, which I've been going to for a long time, I was assured that they are more optimistic. Colossus, the world's largest computer, is going through an upgrade. Part of the reason that AMD is where it is that they've been working on these amazing CPUs for a long time, and we are leading in all those areas. So just at a time in which efficiency is increasing, we're simultaneously dealing with sins of the past. And when I say the past, I mean yours and my entire life.
Now it is certainly something that is not getting enough attention, but it is now under this administration. Real quick, I got to go back to California. Some key races unfolding as we approach November in Congress for the governor's seat and also the LA mayor's race. Spencer Pratt in an emotional debate with the incumbent mayor Karen Bass last night. Flash polls have Pratt with an 80% victory from last night. I want you to listen to one of his highlights from the evening.
Bass and I are definitely not working together.
I blame this person for burning my house and my parents' house and my town and all my neighbors down.
I have told you before, it was one of the worst moments of my life to not be here when my city needed me. And it didn't matter where I was or why I was away. To me, it reminds me of like if you're away and a family member is in an accident. But I think that I deserve a second term, and I'm going to fight for that because we have made significant progress in a variety of areas.
Your reaction to that, does she deserve another term?
Well, this is an interesting situation where you have a mayor who, in a single massive error, those fires and her follow-up, has made what would normally be a walk in the park highly controversial, one in which, whether it's from the left or the right of her own party, she's being challenged for incompetence. You know, look, Los Angeles is not the go-to place in the Golden Bear state that it once was. But at the same time, you also have an outgoing governor who, on one hand, thinks he's going to be the next president, and on the other hand, also has created an opportunity where a Republican might win, or certainly if a Democrat wins, it's going to be partially by saying that they're going to change the direction of the state, one that has been failing under Governor Newsom.
Do you think that California could potentially elect a Republican governor? Do you think that the city of Los Angeles could elect Spencer Pratt as mayor?
Well, the statistical, if you will, the numbers, if you're an R or a D, are so adverse that a victory could, in fact, be losing by a little. But the answer to your question is yes. We are close enough to being able to overcome a 20-plus point deficit simply because the voters, a little bit like President Trump said during his campaign, how's that working out for you? Meaning the status quo of electing one after another career politician Democrats has led them to the worst situation in both the city and the state they've ever seen. Is it a long shot? Yes. Do they have the resources that they'd like to have? No. But the polls show that they're far exceeding the so-called generic vote. And that gives me hope that the voters are seeing it's time for a change.
Well, I know you're retiring this year. I got to tell you, I think the people of California are really going to miss you, Congressman.
Well, thank you. It's been 26 years of serving at both in Congress and for the Trump administration. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't plan on going away. Got a second book I'm working on, and I hope to continue to be of some help to our country and our state because they both need it. President Trump is trying to do impossible things. You mentioned Doge. Look, Doge got a bad rap. The reality is there are hundreds of billions of dollars in waste that the American people shouldn't have added onto their debt. And I intend on being a champion to continue finding that and getting, with the help of this administration, an end to the kind of fraud we're seeing around the country, including in my home state.
Well, and hopefully, Congressman, you will continue to join us right here on Fox Business. It's always a pleasure. Congressman Darrell Issa.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.